Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Justina, and for today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you the look that I have on my eyes. To do this look, I used this palette right here. This is the Dose of Colors palette in collaboration with Desi and Katie. I love these pigments so much. They're so unmatched. The glitters, the foils, you're not going to find them in another palette. And these matte pigments are so buttery, so rich. I love them. And I honestly feel like whether you're a beginner or expert, you're gonna love this palette. You can keep it neutral or you can just jazz it up with some of the colors that are in here. You can use your finger, you can use a wet brush, and these shadows, honestly, they're gonna do it for you. I feel like this palette, hands down, is everybody's favorite. I feel like whether you're a beginner or an expert, this is gonna do wonders for your look. Honestly, these foils, buttery. I'm going to show you this one right here. I'm going to go into a few more. I know I picked all glitters, but I have to just show you guys, like, look at that. I know I've said this before for the Jeffree Star palette, and I meant it very creamy, very buttery, but these shades, I've never seen a foil act like this at all. So I'm actually just gonna, I didn't put a lot down. So I'm just going to press what I do have on my hand. Do you see that? I feel like this is so crazy. I really didn't put a lot. But do you see those pigments, guys? Beautiful. I promise you, you won't regret it. So to begin, I'm going to go in with the P. Louise base in shade 2. And I'm going to take this brush right here, M124 brush. I'm going to place a little bit on here. I'm just gonna grab my mirror and I'm just gonna tap this on. What's funny about this is I don't know how to feel about this base. I wanna love it because honestly everyone loves it, and they say that your pigmentation is just so much more vivid when you use this. So I definitely thought that I was gonna love it. Sometimes it creases on me and I really hate that, but so many other people say that that's what it does and just pat it out like it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it yet. Sometimes it plays me and I feel like, ew, what am I doing? Honestly, in person, this like eye is catching my attention so much, and on camera I felt like a drag queen. Like, I don't know how to feel right now. It's so beautiful in person. Wait, come here. Can you see me? Look. Oh, okay. It's showing. You're staying in closer. So to begin, I'm just going to take my M503 brush and I'm going to tap into the shade Necessary. I'm going to place this in the crease area, but just blow it out. So I'm going to start here, back and forth, and I am just going to blow the shade out. This looks so yummy right now. I honestly, guys, I love this palette. You know, sometimes it's so hard after not filming for a while and trying to put up videos and then stopping and then trying again. It's kind of forget how to do this. And then sometimes it's hard editing for me. Like, I'm learning how to do everything, and also you should know I'm a mute. So to talk to you guys, and it could be literally anyone out there, it feels kind of weird. And then it's also putting yourself in a vulnerable state too, and just letting go. I really am a control freak, so it's hard for me to like just let go. So I'm just gonna jump into the Jaclyn Hill palette right here. This is hella big and it's taking up the screen. I'm gonna take this yellow shade right, I'm gonna take this yellow shade right here. And this is a Morphe 441 brush. And I'm just gonna brush this in my upper crease. Honestly, I just love experimenting on my face. Whether it's Halloween, whether it's full glam, or whether it's just an everyday look. I love playing with products, I love playing with colors, and I love transforming myself. So honestly, I just felt like YouTube was kind of the best route in a sense. And it's like, obviously I have my everyday job for money, but I just feel like this is so great that this platform came along and you're able to do this and put out content that you want to, and someone can watch whether they want to or not want to. So I'm going back into that Jaclyn Hill palette real quick with my M433 brush. And I'm just gonna dip into this orange color right here. Tap off the excess. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna place it in my crease area. And I'm just gonna do windshield wiper motions and go back and forth. And for this, we're just gonna be buffing for a while because we want this color to be amplified. We want no harsh lines, and we just want it to blend into the color that we just laid down. Honestly too, if you have a YouTube and you watch me, please put your link down below, put it in a comment or message me, because I would just love to watch. I think it's so weird if I'm not watching Hulu or Netflix, I'm watching YouTube. So I find that really cool. And I know some of my friends think that I'm weird because they're like, you watch YouTube as TV. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are starting to do. And I think it's so cool to watch people's everyday lives, because honestly I love makeup tutorials, but I love vlog style too. I'm gonna go into the shade right here, and this is the Kylie palette. It doesn't have a name, but these are the shades. So I have a hint of that color on my brush, and I'm just gonna place that into the crease, and I'm buffing it out. I'm taking my M441 and dipping back into this Jaclyn Hill yellow shade, tapping off the excess. And then I just want to make sure that that color is not going to disappear. I'm just going to brush it back there. Stamp it a bit, and I'm just going to keep buffing it through. So next I'm going to go in with the shade Churro, and this is the shade right here. I'm going to coat my brush. This is a M506 brush, and I'm going to place this in my crease area. So keep going to this eye. So I'm going to place this in my crease area, and I'm just going to go back and forth but tightly in my crease area. I want to make sure that the shade is going to stay and it's not going to spread so far up. You just want to keep definition in the crease area. So I am going to dip back and forth, taking more of that shade to create intensity. So we're consistently blending, we're blending, we're blending, we're having a good time, right? We're having a great time, great time. And we're blending. So this is fun. We're going back in the palette, guys. We're going back in it. Oh my god. So we're gonna take cheens. I'm gonna stamp this out. And I'm definitely just gonna drag this so that way it follows the shape of my eye. And it's okay if it's harshly defined. If it scares you, it's okay. Then I'm definitely just gonna go in with this Kylie palette again, and I'm just gonna tap that orange once. And then tap off the excess. You can see how it started light and then just, whoo, I took it there. So I'm just going to take a wipe real quick. So I am going to go in with this Inglot gel. It's in the shade 77. I have an e.l.f. brush. It's an eye shader brush. So now that I have some of that Inglot on the brush, I'm just going to put that on my lid. And I just want to coat my lid, and laying down this black gel will definitely make the color that goes on top pop. Just work in little sections when you are using this, and you just want to make sure to outline the lid. Okay. So I know you gave up on me. You feel like I look scary as hell. I understand. I'm gonna go in with that M56 brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Churro, and then I'm gonna go into the shade Cheens. I'm gonna tap off just once. Then I'm gonna really go in above the crease, and I'm just gonna buff the shade out. Also remember that this is a gel, so it has already dried on my lid. This is such a messy look. Like, I didn't realize when I was doing the other eye, maybe because I was in the SVU hole, but very messy, very scary. I can see if this is a little intimidating. I just dipped a little bit of that G13 in, even though there wasn't anything on it before. I'm just using it to buff a little more. I'm just gonna take this makeup wipe again and clean it up just a bit. Whew, girl, intense. This is intense. So we're going into this palette again. We're gonna take this shade Dirty Money. I'm putting this on my middle finger, and I'm just gonna take it on my eye. Oh, and it's so beautiful. Literally, I didn't put anything on my finger. There's no water, there's no spray. And this is definitely why I laid this black base down, just because it would pop so much more. For the areas that I can't reach with my finger, I'm gonna use a brush. It's so beautiful. But I did go into this Kylie palette using this shade as well, and I placed it on my lid. So I'm gonna do that here. And I just felt like it gave it a nice green pop. So I have an M124 brush. I'm gonna dip into the shade Dirty Money, and then I'm just gonna carve out the crease of it. Okay, so I took that Louise base and I started placing the base under my eye so we can do the under eye shadow. So I'm going to take this Morphe M431 brush, and I'm going to put both shades of green on this brush so that way I can just drag it on the bottom lash line. And we're hugging the shade close to the lash line. I'm going to use this M516 brush, the smaller side, these two light shades just to highlight the brow bone. So I'm going to go in with this Urban Decay Glide On pencil. This is in the shade Black. And I'm just going to outline my bottom. So next I'm going to put this lash on from Lily Lash in the style Miami, and then I'll be back. This is literally like hairspray for the brow. I do love this gel so much. I'm going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This is in the shade Dark Brown. It is a little too dark for me, but I ran out of my other brow pencil, so I'll be using this one today. So I'm just going to fill in the brow, and I'm following the shape of the brow. So now I'm just filling out the top, the tail end, and this is where you would want to add the most pressure for the tail end. Now we're going to go back in and just fill in any spots that we feel like are not shaded in. Now that I feel like the brow's all colored in, I'm going to go in with Boy Brow by Glossier. And I'm just going to take this against my brow. There is a lot of product that comes off when you first take this out. So I'm wiping a bit off and then I'm brushing it in my brows. This is not a clear brow gel. It will come across clear, but the residue is white, so you just have to be careful that it does blend into the brow and you're not going to see that white shade. I'm going to let that dry down for a little, and then I'm going to go in with this small Gimmie brow. This is in the shade number 3. Because I did use a dark pencil, I'm going to go in with a lighter shade of brow gel. So guys, this is the eyes all done. I know it's intense, so intense. I know it's crazy, so if you're still here, thank you so much for still sticking through this. And if you're doing the look on yourself, I know you might be scared as hell and it looks like you got punched in the eye, but it means you're doing it right. Just remember, no harsh lines and to continue blending and just to have faith in yourself. You got this, honestly. So I know I was a little quiet towards the end. I was trying to focus. I was scaring the shit out of myself with what I was doing. So next we're gonna move on to the face. We're going to begin the face routine, and I'm going to go in with 2 primers, but to begin I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Primerizer. I'm just going to put this on my fingertips, 2 pumps of it. I'm going to rub it in between my fingertips, and oh, that was cold. I'm just going to pat it into the skin and then rub, and then what's left I'm going to continue to pat in. With doing the eyes and eyebrows first, you always have to be mindful of putting the primer or the foundation, so you just want to be very careful. So next, with that second primer, I'm going to go in with this Tarte primer, and this is the Clean Slate Smoothing Primer. So I'm just going to take a bit of that with my ring finger, and I'm just going to press that into my nose and over here. These are where my pores would definitely show through. So I am just gonna spread that here and then a little bit on my forehead. So now that we have our primer on, there's one that's moisturizing one and one that is a poreless one. I'm gonna go in with this MAC Strobe Cream. This is in Gold Light, and I'm just gonna place a little bit on this BH Cosmetics brush. This is a 121 brush. And I squeeze a little bit out of the tube, then I dab the brush on it, and I just go to the high points and I just brush it out. And this luminosity is just going to show through the foundation, and it's going to give us a base highlight that is just so beautiful and so radiating. So I'm just going to place a little bit more on my cheekbone. And then I'm going to go to the other side and place more. When I first got this, I honestly thought that it wasn't doing anything, and I kind of thought to myself, like, I got it because Desi Perkins likes it, so it's going to work. But also, Desi Perkins wears a medium coverage foundation sometimes, and then I can see why this would peek through. Sometimes, as you can see in the eyes, a full coverage queen. So I didn't really see this peek through when I wore full coverage. You can also kind of mix it in with your foundation and it will lighten the coverage on your foundation. So do you see this? How my skin is glowing. It's so beautiful. So next I'm going to go in with this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and this is in the shade 7.5. I'm going to take that on a Morphe sponge, and I'm just going to place some on the sponge. And then with the sponge, just go into the skin. The funny thing is, I said that I wanted a less kind of coverage for foundation, but I am going to go full coverage under the eyes with this Jouer concealer, and this is in the shade Macadamia. Just going to draw underneath my eyes, down the nose. That line was crooked. Okay, sides of the nose, sides of the mouth. than underneath. So I probably look crazy as hell. I know. It would look more appealing if I did it one at a time, but we're gonna bounce this out. I'm going to take this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Setting Powder in shade number 2 with this Real Techniques brush, dab it in. But before I do that, I'm going to take this sponge right here and make sure that I take out all the creasing. And once the creasing is out, I'm going to take this brush right here with the setting powder, and I am just dabbing it across. And what we're doing is just making sure that this is going to be a smooth under eye that will not crease. So we're going to take this again, we're going to make sure that there are no creases, dip into the powder, and go underneath. And this is going to make sure that our concealer stays in place. I'm going in with MAC Give Me Sun with the M405 brush, and I think this is going to really help to warm up my face and bring it back to life. I actually love this bronzer and I haven't used it in a while. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm just going to start in the hairline. So I'm just going to focus that here, and I'm going to bring it up the temple a bit, just so that way I can get that tightened, like, sleek back kind of look. Yes, like, the cheekbone is definitely standing out now. Okay, so now that I bronzed that cheekbone up, I am going to go under the chin, and I'm going to swipe down and just follow my jawline. I saw in a tutorial the other day from someone that if you outline this, which most people forget, when you take a photo and you're going to the side to turn, it is going to give you more of a sleeker, like pulled in, you can't see my double chin kind of look. I'm going to take this Morphe 509 brush, and I'm going to take this Pixie blush right here. This is in the shade Beach Rose, and I'm going to tap a little bit onto the brush. That was probably a lot of it. And then I'm just going to take this mirror, and I'm just going to put this on my face. I'm going to take more Pixie blush on that 509 brush, and I'm going to put blush on the other side. Next, highlight. I'm excited. So, reasons why to be excited. This glow kit, Anastasia. It's probably not in stock anymore. They did come back out to restock. This is the Nicole Guerrero X Anastasia palette. Honestly, beautiful, beautiful, in love. And this is my favorite shade right here, is Glow Getter. So I'm just going to take this Real Techniques brush, and I'm going to place it into that shade Glow Getter. And I'm going to take my mirror, and I'm just placing this to the high, okay, like I'm already in love, like high points of my face. So just right here, a little C shape. I have more of that shade on my brush. I'm going in to the other side. So beautiful. Nicole Guerrero. Oh my god. You're a genius. I have 3 products to start. I'm going to use this Morphe lip liner. This is in the shade Backseat Love. So I'm going to outline my lips. I'm going to go in with this Pat McGrath lipstick in the center of my lips, and this is in the shade 1995. I'm going to put that up, dab it in the center. So I'm going to go in with this Kylie gloss, and this is in the shade Expose. I'm going to tap this on the center of my lip. We kind of have rosy shade vibes kind of going on. This is going to be kind of muted. I'm going to put it in the middle. This is just going to help me look a little juicier. I was going to go in with this all-nighter setting spray because this is going to keep your makeup on, I promise you. But I guess for the sake of the video, I'll use this. But in reality, real life, not in this TV right here, use this when you go out, your makeup's not coming off. I swear, not even in the rain, not even in the pool. But this, I'm going to revive my face. I'm going to spray some of this on. Oh, so good. I'm just going to take this sponge and just pat in the product. And I also want to make sure that we don't have any drops or anything air on our face that leaves a stain. So that, guys, completes the tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video.